What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I'm LotusAsakura, the one who never knows best, and today bringing you a Pokemon trading card game pocket video because we got some very exciting news. I haven't been on top of the news and everything when it comes to this game. You know, I make my summoning videos, I've done some battle videos, not enough of those, by the way, but I want to continue to make Pokemon trading card game pocket content because I genuinely really love the game. But today, we got the official announcement and reveal trailer for the next big set that is coming to the game. And it's a little bit different from what you might have expected, and certainly what I was expecting, what I was hoping for, but it's still really cool nevertheless. As you guys know, we started off with Genetic Apex, then they gave us a little mini set in Mythical Island, which was really cool with like Mew and Celebi and Serperior, and Redagon is a card that definitely done wonders for my Dragonite deck. Shout out Young Draco, YKTV, you already know the vibes. But yeah, now we have Space Time Smackdown. So let's go ahead and watch this trailer together. I'm sure most of you guys have seen it by now. I actually did already watch it for myself. We're gonna go ahead and go through it here again together. But as you can see, it is in fact Gen 4, Dialga, Palkia, Space Time Smackdown, and I'm looking forward to it, man. I like Gen 4 quite a lot, but it's no secret. I'm not gonna pretend like I wasn't really hoping for and excited for Gen 2. We thought it was going to be Gen 2. Turns out any rumors, leaks, data mines that had come out and surfaced on the internet were all wrong and or lies or made up, whatever. Like, I'd seen some card art and stuff. I knew that was photoshopped. I knew that wasn't real. But there's some cool cards here. EX Pachirisu. I see Leafeon. I really want, hey Cynthia, I really want some EX Evolutions, man. That's what I really want. Pack art looks sick for these, by the way. And as you can see, available on Wednesday, January 29th. So I do want to go back to this trailer once or twice because we can obviously take a look at some of these cards, talk about it, analyze it a little bit. But yeah, man, I thought Gen 2 was on the way. Gen 2, I would say was or was my favorite generation, okay? I give it to Gen 4 because Gen 4 has the remakes. Shout out Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. So I never owned a Nintendo DS growing up, so I missed out on a large chunk of Pokemon games. I played the first 3 generations. I played XD Coliseum or XD Gale of Darkness and Coliseum on GameCube. I played a bunch of the Switch games, but I missed out on a big chunk of the DS games because I didn't own a DS. Last year, the year before, I bought one for the first time. You know, I'm a grown man with grown man money now. I can do that. So I bought a Nintendo DS Lite, had a blast, got Diamond, Pearl, Heart Gold, Pokemon. Do I have black or white? I have Pokemon white version. I was playing through all the games and I was having a blast. And I always knew that if I ever got around to playing those games, I would love a lot of them. Gen 4 games were incredible, and then the Gen 2 remakes in Gen 4 are also incredible. So since Pokemon Crystal was my all-time favorite game, this is like, Crystal was already like the perfect game, and then this is even more perfect, you know what I mean? So it was like I would say Gen 4 is the best or is my favorite, but this ain't quite the same because this ain't gonna have my little buddy Cyndaquil. This ain't gonna have the legendary dogs. It's not gonna have Lugia, and that's fine because there's still some really cool stuff that we saw in here, starting off of course with Dialga and Palkia. Let's go back through the trailer. But here you can see we have a Dialga EX card, and let me actually just go back a little bit here, and you can see that actually let's just go back a little bit further because let's take it from the top. So we have Dialga EX, which is actually a metal card, which we don't have a ton of those in the game, so that getting that typing getting more added to its pool, definitely welcome. 150 HP as well, so decently bulky, not Venusaur bulky, but definitely not squishy at all. And then here we see 2 moves, Metallic Turbo and Heavy Impact. So Metallic Turbo, take 2 metal energy from your energy zone and attach it to one of your bench Pokemon. Also does 30 damage. So pretty powerful move, I would say, utility wise. You're getting 2 energy from your energy zone attached to your bench Pokemon, as well as dealing damage at the same time. Seems pretty strong. And then you have Heavy Impact, which is 100 damage, but it costs 4 energy. So I would assume you run 2 of these, obviously, in your deck. You have 1 on the bench, and then you're easily building up that other one while you've already got 2 energy on this one as well. And if you're running this alongside, you know, a colorless Pokemon or like a metal or something like that, yeah, I could see how this could be pretty powerful in tandem. So, and only 2 retreat costs as well, which is a little bit cheaper than I would have expected. Actually, not really. I guess in my head, I'm thinking, oh, legendary Pokemon, it's going to be like a 3 retreat cost, a 4 retreat cost, but you know. So yeah, really cool card art as well. As you can see, I guess I could have just paused on this frame where they actually show the whole card, but I just, you know what I mean? But yes, very dope. And then we have Palkia. I think Dialga is cooler than Palkia, just between you and I. But you know. So here's the Palkia EX card, which is a water type, which I didn't really see coming. But here we have Palkia EX, who has Slash, 1 energy, 30 damage, 150 HP, and then Dimensional Storm, which does 150 damage. It costs 3 water energy and 1 colorless. You discard 3 water energy from this Pokemon. This attack also does 20 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. 2 retreat costs, obviously weak to lightning. Powerful as well. I just don't. I'm not like overwhelmed by it though. I kind of think the Dialga card is a little bit cooler, more interesting personally. I'll definitely try that. I mean, I'm sure I will be acquiring this card at some point. I will be trying it out. I'm also not a genius when it comes to theory crafting and deck building and everything like that. I 9 times out of 10, 9.9 times out of 10, I'm not building decks on my own. I'm getting ideas and stealing from other people and then using it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not typically like a big card game player or like theory crafting, even though Pokemon Pocket is pretty simple. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to figure out how to build some of these strategies and decks. And if I sit down and like look through the cards, I'm sure I can figure some stuff out. But I'm not going to be the one breaking news showing you this broken new deck. I'm not going to be the first one doing that. You know what I'm saying? I'll try it out for myself, but I'm rarely going to be the first guy showcasing something. That being said, Palkia seems cool. I'm not like blown away by the card. But you know, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Looks cool though. Looks cool. And then there's some other things in here as well. Like I know they showed us Cynthia, and I don't know if we got a good look at the Leafeon and everything. We have Turtwig, Chimchar, Piplup. I think Gen 4 has some of the better starters. I think Chimchar is one of the best starters in all of Pokemon. My favorite is Cyndaquil. You know, like I said, big Gen 2 guy. Cyndaquil is my favorite Pokemon of all time. But Infernape is the Pokemon that everybody thinks Blaziken is. I think Infernape is way cooler than Blaziken. Just saying, just throwing that out there. Turtwig, not exactly one of my favorites, and then Piplup is really, really cool. I like Piplup. Nothing too much to write home about when it comes to these as starters. You know what I'm saying? Turtwig has a lot of health compared to the other two, so maybe he's going to be bulkier and you know, have a lot of HP. It's comparable to like a Venusaur compared to the other two, who are probably going to be much more damage dealers. Let's see, Scratch does 20 for 1 energy, heal 20 damage from this Pokemon. So Piplup, by the time it evolves into Empoleon, might have a move that heals and does damage at the same time. So yeah, that's interesting. Also worth noting that Turtwig costs 2 energy to do 30 damage compared to the 1 energy to do 20 from Chimchar. So okay. And then moving on, we have this Pachirisu EX card, which Sparking Gadget. If this Pokemon has a Pokemon tool attached, this attack does 40 more damage. So you could be getting 80 damage for 2 energy. So it's similar-ish, comparable, I guess, to Pikachu. I think Pachirisu is a really cool and adorable Pokemon. So, you know, looking forward to trying that out. We have Leafeon and Honchkrow. I see Skill Dive. This move does 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon, I assume. Or maybe that's a bench Pokemon or active Pokemon. You can't really see the energy cost or anything. And then it comes to Leafeon, just a hollow, 90 HP. I see Leaf Cyclone there. Yeah, so Leaf Cyclone. During your next turn, this Pokemon can't retreat, can't something, and it's 2 energy and it does 90 damage. So it seems pretty decently strong, you know what I mean? I really want to see some EX evolutions. I was really hoping for like Umbreon and Espeon, you know, it being in this next six. I thought it was going to be Gen 2, but it's fine. It's fine. I ain't mad at it. Because I'm a big Eevee guy. Well, I guess a lot of people are at this point. I feel like growing up, Eevee wasn't nearly as popular as it is now. I didn't know other people who had Eevee as their favorite Pokemon, but they've pushed it so much over the years, especially since the release of like Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. Now it feels like Eevee and the Evolutions are like basically the secondary mascot to Pikachu, and I didn't really get that feeling growing up, but it very much is the case now. But y'all let me know if y'all felt differently as kids. But yeah, and then we have this Cynthia card. So let me go ahead, go back a few seconds here. And that was further back than I meant to go, but we have this full art Cynthia. During this turn, attacks used by your Garchomp or Togekiss do plus 50 damage to your opponents. It doesn't. You actually can't really see it that well. Active Pokemon, bench Pokemon. Should just say active Pokemon, right? Do plus 50 damage to your opponent's active. I'm just gonna assume this is active, right? So we have Cynthia being added as a trainer card. Also, this is letting us know that Garchomp and Togekiss will be in the set as well. And yeah. By the way, so I don't know how much extra information we might have about some of these cards. You guys might watch other creators who are covering things. I've been kind of like staying away from talking about like leaks and data mines and stuff like that on the channel, because I know Pokemon Company, Nintendo, they get a little, you know what I'm saying? They get a little bit serious about stuff like that. And this is kind of like a new grounds for me, you know what I'm saying? A new territory. I ain't really want to like, you know, overstep my boundaries and stick my nose where it don't really belong. So I've been kind of careful about talking about stuff like that, because I didn't really know how safe it was to cover that stuff on YouTube, you know what I mean? So if there's extra information that has been revealed about this set so far, stuff that you've seen on Twitter, I kind of want to see it, but I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about that type of thing. And that being said, I did eventually end up seeing a lot of stuff that was like leaked or data mined or whatever for the next set supposedly being Gen 2, and then I got really excited for it, and then it wasn't real. So Yeah, like I saw some card art that were definitely like mock-ups. I was like, that's not going to be the official thing. It looks cool, but that's not going to be real. But I was waiting, and you know, it is what it is. But anyway, so that's Cynthia. Then we have Gibble and Cresselia. Heal 20 damage from this Pokemon, plus doing 50 damage. So Psychic type getting another little buddy in there. And yeah, that's pretty much it, man. That's pretty much it. And then also, the final reveal at the end is that the new trade feature will be added on Tuesday, January 20th, which we did get the reveal, if you want to call it that. We got information about trading actually maybe a week ago at this point, but I didn't actually cover it. So let's go ahead and talk about that a little bit as well, because they came out with 2 statements on Twitter about trading and how it was going to work and everything like that. So let me go ahead and find the first tweet if I can. All right, so boom, here we go. Hello, here is a statement from the Pokemon TCG Pocket team highlighting the details of the upcoming trade feature and new content coming to the game. The team plans to diligently assess how trading will impact the player experience and the game once it is available. You have plans for future updates. To all of you playing Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket, greetings from the Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket team. Thank you for having fun with us, opening packs, collecting cards, and enjoying the game each day. We're continuously working to make the game even more fun for everyone and are excited to share some new updates with you. Today, we wanted to provide more details on the new trade feature coming your way this month. Here are a few highlights you can look forward to. Trades can be done between friends. You have to be friends in order to trade. Trades can be done with cards of the same rarity, so you can't trade like a 1-star card for like a 1 diamond card or anything like that. You can't trade like a crown rare for a regular, you know, just a random Grimer card or something. But more details on that in just a moment here. At the time of the trade's feature launch, certain cards from the Genetic Apex and Mythical Island booster packs will be able to be traded. We are planning to continue to expand the selection of booster packs that you can trade from. So let's get into this a little bit. I want to address this because I have a lot of thoughts and opinions on the whole trading system as a whole and things that I kind of want to touch on and mention. And the community has been very vocal about their thoughts and feelings on this feature. And let's start with this point right here. So the first like reaction impression I saw from people with this first bullet point, or this third bullet point, but the first one we're really diving into, is that why aren't all cards just available to trade off rip? Like, why is it like only select cards at the start? And my assumption and my rationale behind that would be, if they just make it so that every card as soon as it comes out is immediately available to be traded, they would obviously lose money. Adding a trading feature in the first place is already like them losing potential money that they could be earning from players who are just going to continue to spend in order to get cards, but now they're able to acquire some through the trade feature without having to spend as much money as they would ordinarily. Now it could be argued that some of those players who are going to be using trading are free to play players or people who wouldn't be spending money anyway, but now there are players who do spend money that might have to spend just a little bit less and affecting their overall revenue. So one of the ways they're combating this is that instead of having a new set come out and immediately the cards are tradable, you wait to add it to the trade pool until the next set comes out. Therefore, you make it so that players are more likely are more likely to spend on that set because, you know, they impatience. They just want it right then and there. There will be obviously players who are patient and be like, okay, now I'm going to spend this amount of money or, you know, this amount of hourglasses or whatever to open these packs. But if I don't get this card or that card, I'll just wait till it gets added to the trade pool and hopefully somebody will trade me one, you know, later down the line. So that's that. But this next part is the bigger, more important one. Cards with a rarity of 1 diamond to 4 diamond and 1 star can be traded, and then items must be consumed in order to trade. So this was the big disappointment for everybody right here. Trading is limited to basically 1-star cards and below, which means that you know, like your Marshadow cards, your full art Eevee card, your stuff like that, the Superior that just came out. Those cards can be traded, but the 2 stars, the immersives, and the crown rares, which are the big boys that people are obviously really struggling to collect and would want to trade the most, those will not be tradable. Will that change in the future? Maybe, but I doubt it. I would say probably not. And I'm honestly not surprised by that, but disappointed. I think, you know, I never made a video theorizing and speculating about how trading was going to work in this game, and I probably should have done that. But they have to find a way to limit the amount of money that they're losing by implementing this feature. Now, I would argue that a feature like this was necessary for the game. It's not much of a trading card game without a trading feature, you know what I mean? But there have been examples of other games that were a little bit, you know, lenient or free with their trading system, and it kind of like killed the game and killed the economy. And what Nintendo and Pokemon want to obviously prevent while adding this feature is, for one, creating a secondary market where you have players who are, making money off of these cards by selling them on eBay, or, creating this little black market or whatever. They also want to prevent themselves from losing out on money from people wailing on the game in order to acquire these cards, because obviously they're the hardest ones to acquire, so you need to spend more in order to have a chance to pull them from these packs. And yeah, it's a whole big thing. And then items must be consumed in order to trade. I assumed that there was going to be some sort of like item cost. I was thinking maybe it could be your shine dust, because I feel like you get that in excess in this game, and it would just make it useful as another resource, because you already have a lot of resources in this game, and I was hoping that they didn't add another one, but this leads me to believe that they will be adding another form of currency to the game in order to trade. So it'll be a trade specific stamina or a trade specific item of some sort that you acquire from either like daily missions or from opening packs, similar to how you acquire pack points or something like that, right? Something along those lines. And we're gonna take a look at a couple of replies that I saw here as well that I wanted to address, because they bring up questions or pose things that I kind of want to speak on myself. But yeah, the community was not very happy about this, and understandably so. I think people have a right to be disappointed in this, and I would agree. I sympathize with it. I'm disappointed myself. I'll still be using the feature, but I was really hoping, because as a content creator, right, as somebody who's a big spender on the game, I have an excess of cards that I really don't need. Like I have like 5 or 6 immersive Celebes, I have like 9 immersive rare Charizards. Y'all were here for that arc, and while that's cool and fun or whatever, and I can flare some of those or whatever, I don't need all of those. So I was gonna gladly trade those away to people. I would have been one of those people who like, hey, like my girl or my homies, or even some of you guys, you ain't got one of these immersive rares, I toss it to you. And likewise, y'all got stuff that I ain't got. I don't have every single card in the game. I'm still missing like full art Giovanni. I still don't have crown rare Mew. I still don't have the new full art Pidgeot 2-star from the Mythical Island set. And there's going to continue to be cards that, while I have most cards in the game, I don't have them all. And there's somebody out there that has 2 crown rare Mews, or has a 3 full art Pidgeots, and they would have gladly, I'll trade you a full art, an immersive rare Charizard or an immersive rare Celebi for that Pidgeot. You know what I'm saying? This is the rare card, but you got what I want, and I got what you want. So let's go ahead and make that happen. I'm not shocked that it isn't that good for us. You know what I'm saying? That would have been ideal for us as players, but that could have been detrimental to the game, creating a secondary market and drastically hurting their revenue and everything like that. And then the game probably wouldn't have lasted nearly as long as we all want it to. So it is a business at the end of the day. I'm not trying to be like a big shield or defend them too much, because yeah, I like, if you didn't want the crown rares and the immersions to be traded, come on, the 2-star, y'all could have gave us the 2 stars, man. Y'all could have gave us the 2-star full arts at least, but it is what it is. That being said, there is a tweet that they followed this up with, and we'll get to that momentarily, but let's finish reading this part right here. We'll continue to monitor player feedback and assess future updates to the trade feature, while keeping in mind how to balance both the ease and enjoyability of collecting, as well as keeping their pockets lined, of course. Let's not be, you know what I'm saying? Also, our next booster packs are planned to be added this month. We'll have more details to share soon on new Pokemon encounters fans can look forward to, which of course we just took a look at the brand new trailer. Thank you again for being part of the Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket community. We hope you continue to enjoy the game, and don't forget to open your packs each day. Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket team. And they followed up with this tweet that says, thank you everyone for your immediate, let me scroll down a little bit more. Thank you everyone for your immediate thoughts on this topic. Your concerns are seen. Once this feature becomes available, I'd like to invite everyone to try it and provide feedback. This way the game can continue to evolve in an enjoyable way for everyone. Now, a lot of this is obviously like these last, couple lines here in this follow-up tweet is them kind of covering themselves a little bit and making it seem like, hey, we hear you guys, because obviously a lot of people were voicing their complaints and their disappointment in the feature and how it's going to function and the limitations on it, which you had to expect there to be some limitations, right? And like, hey, we hear you, try it out, let us know how you guys feel. We'll be listening to feedback. We'll try to update and tweak it, whatever. Will we see any real changes come to it? Like, will they make it so that 2 stars can be traded? Will they make it so that the items used don't need to actually be used, or that they reduce the amount or whatever? We don't really know. Obviously the feature's not exactly here just yet. It will be next week. Today is what, the 23rd as I'm recording this video. So we've got 5 more days for the trading feature and then 6 more days for the brand new set. And I will of course be, trying out the trading. I'll be opening new packs and everything like that, continuing to make content, streaming it, whatever. Yeah, time will tell. I'm not expecting major changes or tweaks to this system to be made, because again, like I just understand that they want to make as much money as possible, so I'm just not really surprised by it, and it just is what it is. That being said, let's scroll down here for just a moment. So I just wanted to address a few tweets that I saw just because they bring up points that I think are worth discussing. So we have one here from a user that says, I don't like how it's only trade with friends and you need certain items to consume. Probably a ticket or something. I only really want to trade like 6 or 7 cards, so it's not a huge deal. It's still kind of a drag to have to jump through hoops. It should be exactly like Wonder Pick. And here's my thing as well, okay? They have to have these limitations, and they did things like make it so that you need to have a friend or be friends with this player, just to make it that much more difficult for people to basically game the system, okay? Just think about it like this. If they introduce the trade feature and you can trade any rarity for any rarity, anything from a 1 diamond card all the way up to a crown rare, what stops people from just re-rolling on a second account, getting the cards that they want, trading it to themselves on their alternate account so that they never have to spend any money and can get all the cards in the game? The game will die very, very quickly that way, because then Pokemon companies are not making any money off that. They're not going to continue to support it with content and updates and everything like that. We got to keep that in mind. And you know, one of the things that they implement in order to prevent that is that you have to be friends. So as well, it can't just be with like any random person. You know, you only have with so many friends, and it's just not like that big of a deal. But it's just one more step in the process that makes it so some people would just be like, I'm just not even gonna bother dealing with it because it's more trouble than it's worth to just try to, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. People talking about the items as well. I was hoping that the item or the currency cost, if any, was going to be Shine Dust, because Shine Dust, I guess this is more of a me thing, because again, big spender on the game, I'm a whale, whatever. I have a ton of Shine Dust, like over 200,000 of it or something like that. And like, it's not like I'm trying to flare every card in the game. Although maybe I should start flaring a lot more cards, because I haven't spent any of that anyway, because I was waiting to see if it was going to play into trading in some form or fashion. Apparently it's not. Well, we don't know for sure, but like I said, it implies to me that they're adding a new type of item or currency or whatever. And that's apparently the implication people were also getting from this. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like I was hoping it would be tied to something that we already have, or just not be anything at all. But I just don't think that one's all that much of an issue, honestly. This is something else I want to know. Does this include promos? Because there are some promo cards that I'm missing, and I'm just wondering, like, will I be able to acquire those from some friends or some viewers because I wasn't around, or did I miss it? Like the Lapras. I pulled like 30 plus packs on the Lapras event and never got a Lapras. Just was extremely unlucky. It's not like I wasn't grinding. It's not like I wasn't here. Like I tried really hard and just didn't get one. So it's like, damn, am I just SOL because I just had such bad luck? And like, yeah, you know, maybe like it just be like that sometimes. But if promos are also excluded from this, which they probably are, I would assume, that's even more disappointing. Then we have a tweet like this, which I, can relate to some degree. You need to give your whales something meaningful to do with extra copies of these if you aren't going to let us trade them with other whales. The cosmetic shop tickets become worthless very quickly, as is for anyone spending. And I mean, yeah, like I said, as somebody who has 9 of these cards in particular, several of the Celebi, I want to be careful about what I say and agreeing too much with this, because they can come off as very entitled, where like, I'm spending more money, so I deserve some sort of, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get it though. Like, yeah, it's to some degree, it does make sense. It's like, okay, like, how does this really benefit people who spend a lot of money on the game? I feel like if you're a big spender on the game, like, you should be getting, you know what I mean? It's like, it feels almost unfair, I guess you could say, to where it's like, a whale doesn't really benefit at all, despite being one of the bigger supporters of the game, from a system like this, because more often than not, we're going to already have all the cards that are tradable, and the things that we have in excess of that people don't have, that would like to have, that we would trade with, whether it be with people who don't have it or with each other. It's like, we just, I'm saying, we're just kind of like, again, just kind of like SOL. It would be nice to see them add more things to the shop, or I don't know, like, make it so that if you want to trade these cards that are of higher rarity, it costs like significantly more of the item resource, or you have to have this many copies of the card in order to trade it. There's definitely some things that they could do to make it to where, like, you can trade immersives, you can trade 2 stars, you can trade crown rares, but like, we have to make it significantly more difficult, again, to protect, their revenue. And again, people would still be unhappy about that, but like, I'm just trying to look at it from both sides, where it's like, as a player, like, I want these features, I want to participate in trading. I don't really benefit a whole lot from the system, because there's very rarely going to be times where I don't have one of those cards of that rarity. But simultaneously, it's like, hey, bro, like, I love the game. I support the game very much, both with content and with my wallet. So it's like, where's some love for me? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I get it. So I definitely feel, bro, right here. It's like, hey, so like, whales just don't get to be part of the fun because we spend more money than other people. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, boo hoo, you have money to throw at the game. So like, I get that too. You know what I'm saying? Oh, woe is me. What a first world problem. You spend money. You have disposable income, and so you don't get to have this fun with this feature. But like, just for a brief moment, just try to understand the aspect of like, you know, everyone else is getting to benefit from the support that the big spenders give on the game, and it's like the big spenders themselves don't really get anything in return for putting money in the pockets of the developers. Well, you know, the company or whatever. And it's just like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, damn, like, you know, where's our benefit? Where's our bonus? Where's our fun? Whatever. So like, I get it. Damn, I can't really find it right now. There was one tweet in particular that I really wanted to address, but now I've lost it. I should have bookmarked it. But there was one in specific that I really wanted to talk about because they voiced a lot of concerns or like opinions and like things that I feel like are shared by a lot of people in the community, and it just kind of like hit it all at once. And I wanted to like kind of, I should have bookmarked it. I'm a fool for not doing so. But it is what it is. Anything that you guys have that you want to say about trading or the system in the comments down below, please feel free to voice it, because I'd love to see what you guys are saying and respond and interact with you guys and communicate on this topic down there. Yeah, at the end of the day, I do feel like the limitations on this are disappointing but somewhat expected. But simultaneously, there is definitely measures that they could take to open up the system more while not like drastically affecting their revenue and like killing the game. You know, you can't just make it so that it's just easily tradable. It's like I can just trade this one diamond card, or I can just trade this Caterpie for this crown rare Mewtwo. Like I think most of us can agree like that wouldn't be okay, right? Like that would kill the game pretty quickly. But simultaneously, it's like, you know, make it so that the account has to be active for this number of days before you can even use the trading feature. Or make it so that if you want to trade this crown rare, you have to have 2 or 3 of them. Or if you want to trade this immersive rare, you have to have like 3 or 5 of them. Let's say that they introduce a new currency that's like shine dust, okay? And let's say trading costs 5,000 shine dust per card. Make it so it costs like 50 or 1,000. I mean, 50 or 50,000 or 100,000 in order to trade like a card of a higher rarity. So like the higher the rarity of the card, the more of this currency you have to have. You know what I'm saying? So that way you can still trade the cards, but you have to be a diligent and active player and or spender in order to actually make use of that feature. But which, if you are a whale like myself, like I have all the shine dust, depending on how you accumulate this extra currency or item or whatever, you'll probably end up having a lot of them, right? So you should be able to, you know, make use of that. So that way it's still everybody benefits, and it's not just like an immediate like tank to the money that they make off the game and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying my best to like be optimistic and you know, be rational both with my expectations and what I want from the game, and then also what's realistic for them as a business. Yeah, man, I saw some people even going so far as to saying that this is going to make them like stop playing the game or quit the game. I like the game too much. I'm still having a blast playing it and creating content where I'm not stopping anytime soon. Like I said, I will be here front and center when the new packs drop, and I will be ripping some open. But for those of you who do feel that strongly about it, like I said, feel free to voice your concerns and your opinions in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. And I think with that, we can pretty much wrap up this video. These could have been 2 separate videos on their own, but this is already like old stuff anyway, but I just figured I'd tack it on here because I wanted to talk about it. And I have more I probably could say, but yeah, I was looking for that one tweet. I will say, I do think that a lot of players aren't seeing the bigger picture with this and don't understand that if the trading system didn't have some sort of limitations, like it would be the game's downfall. You know what I mean? Again, don't get me wrong. I do think that the system could be better, and I will be sending my feedback wherever those avenues are, and I encourage you guys to do so as well. But I think some people just aren't really thinking about like, hey man, like if they just make it so that, you know, you don't have to spend some sort of resource or be friends or like have some sort of requirements, like the game not gonna last too much longer because the revenue declines, support for the game stops, and then the game gets shut down and dies. And I don't think any of us want that, right? So that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Hit this video with a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already so you can stay tuned for all the awesome content that I'm bringing you. But with all that being said, that's pretty much all I have today, and remember, nothing can happen until you swing the bat. Later.